So you probably didn't hear all my nice words, but I'll just really quickly, again, I introduced myself as representing Secretary of State Walter Mosley. Tom represents, introduced himself representing the Department of Health. Our colleague Jill Favors unable to attend today. As a point of privilege, I'm just thanking my colleagues for their work over this past year. I'd like to thank all of the cemeterians and cemetery board members and volunteers who've worked with us over the last a year. Those jobs are acts of commitment to their community and love for their community, in most cases volunteer jobs. So again, we appreciate their service. I also welcome the staff that are here today. This is again the December meeting, and we often combine that with an opportunity for us to join with staff and have a holiday celebration later. So again, I welcome all the staff that are here and thank all of the staff that have worked with us over in the division for the past year. We've had a very successful year. We have added staff, which is great. We brings, us new capacities and new insight into the work that we do. And we've also been able to expand our services, particularly, I think it's gone on for a little bit over a year, but the Cemetery 101s and the training that we've put out there. We've worked with a large number of cemeteries, trying to give them additional information and support. It's been a very successful endeavor. And those things are, again, part of our services. We are a regulatory body, but we're also a support and advocacy group. So it's an interesting place. So I just wanted to thank all of the staff for that. And again, congratulate the division on a successful year. I will do one shout out to Alicia Young, who's been our assistant director for quite a few years, and she is retreating to a different position. And we have Carrie Ferezzi as our assistant director. But Alicia's done yeoman's work over the last bunch of years. Congratulations and thank you for your service. Tom, is there anything you would like to say?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Don't mean to hog the limelight. I guess we can move right into the meeting. Oh, and I do also want to thank NISAC for their service supporting cemeteries, but also in their interactions with us to try to help keep us on the straight and narrow as we do our work. So thank you for that. I'll move to the business of the meeting. First order of business is to accept the minutes of the previous meeting. Do I have a motion to accept them as distributed? Any other comments or suggestions to the minutes?
Okay.
No changes. So I'll second that motion. We'll have a little different cadence here today. All in favor? Aye. The minutes are accepted as distributed. I don't know if we have a legislative and regulations report, and our council's here. Rob Van Vlis.
Morning. Very briefly, S 8366, A 7387, which was previously part of prior legislative reports to the board, has been signed into law. The effective date is late May. I have no regulatory update.
Okay. Any questions of Rob on the legislative report? Okay. Louis, do you have a division report?
Not a lot to watch. Mostly wanted to welcome Corey Moore and Jeff Hardwick, both from our Syracuse office, who have joined us since our last meeting.
Right. Terrific. Welcome. Glad to have you on board.
Yeah, that's all. Since I don't have anything else, you can go do the annual reports now. Go nuts.
Carrie, you have an annual.
I do have an annual report update. So for 2024 to date, we received 1,567 annual reports, which is the majority. 657 of them were online, so we're about 42% online submission. So hopefully 25 we can get those numbers up.
Okay, terrific. And we increase our online, did you say that?
Yeah.
Great. So we encourage, I think we have some training that we're doing on that, but the online training, the online submission man reports is a big benefit to all of us.
Yeah, I will add that we have a clip for our online annual report submissions online. There's a video right on our annual report page. So if you you want to try that out, you could watch the video first and I can help you through it.
Great, staff are available to help you through it. Okay, we don't have a big agenda today, a vandalism report. Is there a
It is online. I'd certainly welcome any questions. I circulated the report. If anybody has any
Anybody
questions.
have any questions on the vandalism report? Great. Okay, so first order of business is applications to our vandalism fund. We have one. It is from Clearview Cemetery in Steuben County in the amount of $29,780.85. Do we have a presentation?
Michael Katina, Division of Cemeteries. The Clearview Cemetery is a rural cemetery in the town of Cohocton, which is located in Steuben County. They submitted an application for the repair of 30 hazardous monuments. I visited the cemetery and confirmed that all 30 monuments appear to pose a hazard. The most recent monument was dated in 1972, and the cemetery stated that they do not have lot owner records from that period. They ran a legal notice once a week for 3 weeks in the Spectator at a cost of $205.85, no response. The division's understanding is that the cemetery has determined that the lot owners cannot be located. The cemetery submitted 2 repair estimates, the lowest of which was from DC Masonry for $29,495 to reset the 30 monuments on concrete foundations to a depth of 42 inches and include a 15-year warranty. Clearview Cemetery Associations are up to date on their vandalism payments, and I recommend approval in the amount of $29,700.85.
All right, thank you, Michael. Council, anything to add to the conversation?
No comments from council.
You?
Obviously, any resolution should be subject to the overall.
You didn't have to say it, but now, right there. Always good to be reminded. Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the application from Clearview Cemetery in the amount of $29,700.85, subject to the availability of funds. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
That's all we have. All in favor? Aye. Motion or application is approved. That completes our review of vandalism funds. And I think we've confidently spent all of the money, then some that depend on cash flow for the vandalism fund. So it's a good use of our resources.
To clarify, we've committed all of the funds.
Yeah.
We haven't actually
Yeah.
spent them. We advanced 25% of the application up front, and the other 75% upon completion of the work, which means as stuff gets done over time, even though we've committed more than $2 million, we've obviously not spent more than $2 million.
Right.
Because we can't.
However, good clarification. Thank you. We have an application from Webster Rural Cemetery, restated certificates of incorporation. Is there a presentation on that?
Sure, I'll do that. It's going to be very brief. Webster Rural has its original certificate of incorporation, which is ahead of some cemeteries. You can't even find theirs. This one dates from the 1880s. It's handwritten, very difficult to read. They tried transcribing it with mixed success. With guidance from our council to our division of corporations, they've restated their entire certificate of incorporation, given us a clean version that we and corporations believe comply with current statutes. The one thing that's different about this application from the typical one is because the original was not entirely legible, they haven't given a line by line showing what they're changing and restating it. Normally, if you're amending or restating, you show how you changed it. They haven't done that here because it's not really practical.
Okay.
Obviously, we think it's a good thing for them to have a legible certificate of incorporation that once filed, they can show to banks if they want to change financial institutions or things like that.
Council, anything to add to the?
No, only that I've drafted a proposed resolution for the board. Should the board choose to approve the restated certificate, that needs to be appended when it goes to filing to corporation.
Okay. So why don't you read the motion?
Okay, the proposed resolution is whereas the New York State Cemetery Board has reviewed the materials submitted by Webster Rural Cemetery Association 28-038 to restate its certificate of incorporation pursuant to not-for-profit corporation law, section 805, and subject to the approval of either the Office of the Attorney General or Supreme Court. Now therefore be it resolved that the board approves the annexed certificate of incorporation pursuant to NBCL section 1505.
I'll make that motion as read into the record. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Terrific. The certificate of incorporation is approved, if that's the right
So we need
word.
your signatures on these two.
All right, so we can, that concludes our business for the meeting. Our next meeting is scheduled for January 14th at 10:30 a.m. in this building. Jane will let you know. We always give the public an opportunity to speak to the board. And so we'll move to public session. Is there anybody online that would like to address the board on matters of concern? Hearing none, is there anybody here that would like to address the board?
Before Mr. Fleming speaks, I was remiss in in failing to point out that today is his birthday.
Oh.
How's it feel to be 45?
It felt great along with
All right, young man, do you have anything to say?
Wow. Was hoping I was dodging that. No, just wanted to say, David Fleming on behalf of the New York State Association of Cemeteries, to thank all of the staff and the board for all the cooperation with NISAC throughout the year. You pointed out the Cemetery 101 classes, which were hugely successful and very helpful to members, and we're glad that NISAC was able to participate in some of those. And certainly the board's attendance and staff's attendance at our meetings throughout the year have been extremely helpful and important that folks can interact with their regulators. And I think it not only builds trust, but a really helpful relationship. And then on behalf of the association, just thank you and welcome to all the new folks. It's great to see you in person in this office. So we're used to seeing little boxes and not exactly. So nice to see you all and best wishes for 25 years.
Oh, that is an, you want to do it?
Oh,
That's an excellent point.
this is, this year is the 75th anniversary of the foundation of the Division of Cemeteries.
Wow.
Something we should have acknowledged earlier in the year.
No.
Last chance.
75
All right.
years since 1949, when the division came into existence.
Well, who knew? Apparently you.
I
Thank
I
you.
knew it too, I just forgot to.
Thank you for giving us our history. 75 years is a benchmark. I think New York State approaches its view of cemeteries differently than many, and I think it's a great model. It's evolved obviously over time, but I feel good about where we are. Okay, so that said, I don't think there's anything else for the board. A short meeting. Appreciate that. Hope everybody has a good holiday season, and we'll see you in January. Motion adjourned. All in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned.